Hello everyone, Zanurify here, and today I'm playing Space Engineers. This is a game I've been playing for probably around a month or two now, and I really like it. I've been playing it far too much with my friends, and I thought I would just make a quick video showing you the basics, like how to build your first ship. I am going to do it in creative purely for the sake of speed, but the way in which you build it is pretty much the same. It's just I won't have to build all of the components. So let's just create a new world, make it creative, safe. Yeah, we don't want anything coming and going. Might as well turn cargo ships. Might as well turn it off. Doesn't matter, but whatever. Maybe, yeah, we'll leave it at that. Okay. So let's boot this world up. When you play Space Engineers, you have a choice of different worlds, regardless of if you're on creative or survival. If you're playing a survival, I'll probably do a survival series on this, definitely. But I recommend, if you're new to the game, maybe choosing the space station or the one where you get a ship. But I'm just going to go on the Lone Survivor map here. So, for the sake of those people who don't know what Space Engineers is, it is a kind of survival sandbox game. So think the same kind of genre as Minecraft, but the game is obviously a lot different. So it is kind of blocky in terms of the bases, but as you can see, not everything is blocks. So I'm this gravity generator over here is what's allowing me to actually run around and jump. If I was to push X and detach myself from it, then I can fly around. You can use Q and E to roll, C to go down, space to go up, press V to go to third person, and if you hold left alt you can look around, and that's the same for if you're in a ship in third person as well. Okay, so not going to go into the kind of details on how to get resources and everything, because I'll probably go through that in a different video, but I'm purely going to show you today everything you need to make a ship. And it's relatively straightforward, but if you have just started playing the game and you're not one for reading tips, then I'm just going to give you a quick brief guide on how to build a ship. Okay, so what you want to do first, I'll remind you again that I'm playing in creative, so if you're playing in survival, it'll be pretty much the same, but except you'll have to weld each part to actually build it. For what I'm doing, it will just put the part down. Okay, so if you push G, and then click new small or large ship, we'll go for a new small ship. Okay, it's facing that way. So this is where your ship begins. Okay. And so first what you want to do is you want to create a hull. So if you hold control and hold left click, then you can drag it out. I think we'll make it about that big. Okay. 2, 3, 2, 3, and obviously the hull can be whatever you want it to be. You don't have to be following what I'm doing, because what I'm going to end up with is probably going to be atrocious, let's be honest. Okay, so usually in Space Engineers you would have to use the grinder to get rid of blocks, but you could just right click in creative. And now I'm just going to place the other two landing gears on here. Is that the right way? I can't see from here, can I? That is the wrong way round. Come on. Okay. Okay, so what the landing gears enable you to do is essentially clamp on to places. You see this one is green. That means that this is grabbing onto the floor, so it won't move until you unlock it. And if it's yellow, it means it can grab on, but it's not. So it just means you're in range. Because I've just put these on, their default is set to not clamped on. Okay, so now we've got kind of a basic shape. I think I'll add a few more blocks to this. Okay, might actually get rid of this. Right, okay. Okay, now what you want to do is you want your cockpit, and for small ships, this is the best one. It might actually be the only one you can use, I can't remember. So if we stick that in there, and once again, I'm not going for looks in this, I'm just building whatever pops into my head. Okay, so you've got your cockpit which you can sit in with T, and you can look around with Alt, and if you push V, you can look around with Alt. So there we go. And you can see on the right it says all of the various stats on the ship. But obviously we have no power, so that's what we need next. So you want to grab yourself a small reactor for a ship of this size. You don't really want that's any bigger really. I think I'm actually going to put 2 on just for the sake of symmetry. But usually I would be very kind of efficient with my placing of them. Oh, it's upside down. Because you do have to access them to put uranium in them normally. God, I hate these keys. Is that the right way around? Yes, right, okay. So usually you'd put these down and they'd be red, and it would mean that there's no uranium in them, but because I'm in creative, they are green. Okay, so now we'll put the gyroscope on. What the gyroscope does is, as well as being able to control the ship with the keyboard, it allows you to steer it using the mouse. And that may seem a bit iffy to anyone who hasn't played the game, but it makes it a lot easier to control. You tend to control your ships with both the keyboard and mouse simultaneously. It's just easier. But it's worth mentioning though that these are technically reaction wheels. So if you've ever played Kerbal Space Program, the equivalent of SAS modules, so they basically keep your ship stable as well as improving its maneuverability. So the bigger the ship, the more of them you need. And it's also worth mentioning that if you're putting something on a small block, it puts a small version on it, and if you put it on a large block, it puts a large version on it. So you can see, look, tiny gyroscope, big gyroscope. So on a large ship, this is how big they are. And obviously, if you're in survival, they cost more resources if they're bigger. So we'll yonk that down there, doesn't matter what way it's facing. Really? I just, you know. Okay. So gyroscope out of the way, landing gear out of the way. Okay. So what we need now are thrusters. Now thrusters, I don't know, some people find it quite confusing. I don't see why really. You just need thrusters in every direction. Some people make the mistake of not putting enough facing backwards, and then they find that their ship can't stop quick enough and they crash into things. And again, thrusters get bigger depending on what you place them on, and they can get extremely big. So if I was to do something like this, I wonder if it'll work. Maybe not, because it's not a ship. Okay, well the thrusters can get bigger than what I just showed you there. So what we want to do is stick, we'll make it quite a fast ship, so we'll put quite a few on the back. Okay. And then we'll put some on the front as well. Preferably the same, if not just slightly under the same number as what's on the back. So I think I might make this a very thicker actually. Okay. And just before I forget, I think I might put some slopes on the front just to, you know, make it a bit more rounded, if I can remember. There we go. I am terrible at rotating stuff in this game. Okay, there we go. So now we've got a kind of curvy edge. Okay, so we'll put thrusters on the front. Okay, now we need side-facing thrusters. So what I'm actually going to do is get rid of this block here. Just have them going out like that. Okay, that's all good. And I might do some more on the front as well. You can never have too many thrusters. Well, you probably can, but who thinks like that? Right. Okay. So now you can go left, right, forward, back. You need to go up and down now. So I'm probably going to have to delete some blocks again to get underneath. Okay, so we'll stick... Oh god. If you're wondering why I fell there, it's because the gravity generator creates kind of an area of gravity, so it thought I was, you know, falling. Stick one there. Stick one there. And we'll stick one there. What the hell just happened there? Well, that is really peculiar. I have no idea why that just happened. And that is probably another thing that I should mention, is that there are some quite interesting bugs with this game. I mean, it's got quite a good physics engine, but sometimes it can derp out horribly. And when I mean horribly, I mean really, really horribly. Especially when they bring in new updates, so always keep an eye on stuff like that. Destroyed my gyroscope! Flipping thing. Put another reactor on there as well. Okay. So we got ones going up now. Just replacing the blocks. Now we need ones going down, and then that will be the thrusters done. Okay, so going up. Okay, so I've just placed some more thrusters on the back. Now, as far as kind of actual flight is concerned, this ship is pretty much ready. Although what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some other little snazzy things to it. So, the antenna, you don't really use them on small ships, but it allows you to see if parts of your ship are being hacked or accessed or damaged or whatever. So on large ships you can see if someone's grinding down one of the important doors or whatever, like if you're doing the multiplayer deathmatch style battle thing. The beacon I could probably put on. It basically does what you see. There's the word platform there. It basically does that, and you can rename it, so you'll always know where your ship is. There we go. They're really bright for some reason. And you can access any system on the ship by hitting K on any interactable object. Go to control panel, and then you can see everything on the ship here. It's very useful for bigger ships because you can control all of the systems. If we go to beacon, and we'll rename it to the, I don't know, HMS I don't know. Is that even how you spell it? I might change it. Sausage. There we go. Okay, and now when we turn the ship's power on, because it doesn't seem to be on for some reason. Oh no, I know why. I know what I've done. I've given it too much power. That should do it. Now you can see it's got HMS Sausage, and we've got power again. Now when it comes to ships, there's lots of different kind of attachments you can put on them. You can have turrets on the bigger ships that fire automatically. You can have tools, welders, grinders and drills, so you can kind of do what you would do on foot but much quicker by doing it through a ship. And then you've got your rocket launchers and Gatling guns, and I might as well stick them on just to show you what they're like if you don't know already. I think I'll get rid of this middle block. My god, look at this monstrosity. Obviously, yeah, it's bigger if you put it on that, but there we go. And Gatling guns, we will stick on the sides, I think. That should be okay. Sometimes it's be a bit iffy, but it looks like it'll be alright. Okay, so now this should put a spotlight on it as well, why not? That's a bit bright. Put it there. Okay, so now this should fly. Obviously I've just built it, so I don't know exactly how good it's going to be, but we'll hop in. So I'm in the ship now, and you can see on the right, I can see the amount of landing gears, if they're locked or whatever, and all that kind of stuff. If you push Y, toggles the power. Sitting in a powered cockpit does recharge your energy if you're in single player, so before you get in med bay, it might be an idea to do that. Just so we can try, if you push P, it unlocks or locks your landing gear. So if I now push space, we will fly up. Push V, so we got, and then see, by default in ships that you've built, the inertial dampeners are on, and you don't have to build any special kind of block for the inertial dampeners, they are just on. So if I was to go down, you'd see the bottom ones would fire to stop me from hitting it, and vice versa. If I was to go up, then they would stop me from going forward more, and if I was to go forward, then the forward ones would stop me, and that is the quickest way to actually stop in these things. So see, I can move around with my mouse, can use Q and E to roll, and WASD for the rest of the controls. Okay, so now we'll go to the weapons. So to actually use any attachment or weapons on your ship, you want to push G and they'll be at the top, and then you just put them on your hotbar. You can drag and drop them, or you can just, you know. Oh, and this is everything that's on the ship, apart from the hull. So you can also put things from there on there for whatever reason you want to change them. So you would have to manufacture or find ammunition for these weapons, but because I'm in creative, I don't need to do that. So if I go to 1, I can use the Gatling guns. Quite a satisfying noise. They don't do a huge amount of damage to armoured targets. They're better against kind of machines and people. But see, they do still do damage, and the damage is beautiful in this game. And I don't know if you noticed there, but if I let go of the controls completely and just fire, you can see the kickback is actually moving the aircraft, so that's something else you need to compensate for as well. We'll try the missile launchers now. We'll aim for the med bay or something. Okay, well that's gone. So yeah, these are only light armor blocks, but as you saw just then, the missiles had a devastating effect. Our poor wall. So as you can see, the damage is really nice in this game, and it's really fun when you're on a ship and it's breaking apart and whatever. So there we go. Show it from the outside. So there is a moment where you can actually see the missile, and this does, you know, smash through asteroids as well. So if I kept firing, see, it's making quite a large hole. I don't know how big is this asteroid? There we go, and I've now shot all the way through. And this is voxel based, so all of the mining and everything is procedural, hence why I could create this awesome hole. Definitely the most expensive way to mine, but the coolest by far. So one more thing I thought would be worth showing you, if you haven't flown in this game before, is the best way to get around isn't to just hold down W. It's much like in real space where... Oh, no, there we go. It's actually to reach your highest speed. So in this is 111-ish meters per second. That's the maximum you can go at the moment. There isn't much need to go any faster than that at the moment. But you basically want to reach that speed. Like, however, or I'll just prove the concept here. So I'm at 60 meters per second. Now if I turn off the inertial dampeners, the front thrusters or no other thrusters will command my ship to stop. So it will just carry on going. I can still control the ship, but it won't correct itself. Whereas if I turn the inertial dampers on, and we've stopped. So I've been Xenurify. I hope you like this short video showing you, just how to build a simple ship and kind of an introduction into Space Engineers, and I'll hopefully do more soon. So if you enjoyed, a like or a subscribe would be much appreciated. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to comment or send me a message through YouTube or Twitter. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.